Welcome to another episode of Real People, Real Stories, where we provide you with compelling tales from everyday people just like you. I'm your host, John Wendell Adams, author of the novels Betrayal and PayBack, along with the soon-to-be-released novel, Ruthless. You can always find me by going to john@johnwendelladams.com. So for the next 23 minutes, let's get to today's guest.
We can just get out of our own way and allow what is to take over. Wow.
Hey, Kristen, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, John?
Well, I have been looking forward to hanging out with you for quite a while, and I'm glad that we were able to get schedules arranged and such. So thank you for joining. Yeah, thank you for joining us for this episode of Real People, Real Stories.
Thank you. Very exciting.
Yeah. Yes. So how's your day?
My day's been wonderful. I woke up and set some intentions, and here we are.
Why don't you start by having you tell the audience really who you are, your name, obviously, who you are, and what you do.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah.
I'm Kristen O'Hagin. I love to be here. I love that I'm here, right? It's all I ever really want to say. But yeah, my name is Kristen O'Hagin. I'm the youngest of 4 children, born and raised in South Florida, and have a whole lot more to tell you.
Okay. And it turns out that your compelling story really is about you. And I want to start with your growing up years, right? And you just said that you grew up in South Florida. Tell me about that. Tell me about what that was like for you.
Yeah, love South Florida. I'm the youngest of 4, born to a mother and a father that my mom's from Chicago, my dad's from Iowa. And, at the end of the day, what I really like to say is that my mom needed a hero and my father needed a partner. And so they came together, but in their sicknesses, they would find each other and then have us 4 children.
Got it.
So mom addicted to dad and food, dad addicted to alcohol and rage. And so, we grew up in South Florida under those conditions.
I know that your mother became ill and she eventually passed away. Tell me about the impact for you associated with that.
Yeah, that was tough. I was 26. She was 55. She died from non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Was diagnosed at 55, and within 11 months, she was deceased. It was time to exit that body. It just was not serving her anymore.
Yeah.
But prior to that, I think that the way that I was raised in my schooling background from elementary and middle is very compelling to show how I have journeyed on the path and became super aware was really in school.
Well, I shall certainly, you told me about some of the educational difficulties that you had in your growing up years and how that helped to really, I think, transform you. So talk to me about that.
School was a big thing because I was never comfortable in school. I always felt like the black sheep, or that they didn't get it, or what they were teaching me wasn't deep enough. I couldn't feel it. And I just felt like I didn't want to be in school. But then again, when you're hungry and you're scared and you're uncertain, as a child, uncertain where the next meal is going to come from, uncertain if the electrical is going to be turned off, uncertain if dad's going to be angry tonight. So there was so much uncertainty that when I was in school, I was very distracted. We like to say halt. Hungry, angry, lonely, tired. That's what I was. Wow. And when you hear your stomach growling when you're in school, how can you focus? How can you concentrate?
Sure.
You're thinking of on the bus, what's going to be home when I get there? Unexpected things. So there was always a tremendous amount of cautiousness, which then can hold me back from, being who it is that I was meant to be, right, when I got here.
And I guess, boy, with all of that, which was going on, they were, in spite of the difficulties with your mom passing away and the trials associated with school, and I had never heard that acronym HALT before, but I certainly got it now. But there was at least one person who had a real positive impact on your life. Tell me about that.
after my mother passed away, her best friend was with her, a few days prior. And my mother said to Myra, you got to get Chrissy in this business of recruiting. She's phenomenal. She can sell ice to Eskimos. She is amazing. You need to get her in this business, please. So Myra approached me and gave me the opportunity about 10 months after my mom passed. Hey, I'm a recruiter. I can teach you the business. I'll give you everything that you need to know, but there is one catch, and I can't pay you. I said, what do you mean you can't pay me? She said, I can't pay you until you sell something. I was like, no draw? And she's like, not even a draw. 50%, you eat what you kill. I said, okay, because what did I have to lose at that time? My mother was deceased. I was horrified. I was working on the beach as a bartender. That was the only good thing happening, is the beach. And I showed up, I paid my dues, bloody and bruised until I got better, 150 calls a day, reading the scripts, knowing that no matter what, there is a cause and effect. If I just show up and share this information, something's got to happen on this side. Sure. And that is what I did.
Well, you know what? Having never done, and I have some experience in this area of staffing, recruiting, with, for individuals that don't know about that. I mean, you say 150 calls, kill what you eat. I get that. And yet, talk about how long it was before you started to see real success in that regard. And what did that fuel in terms of the rest of the story?
Yeah, I didn't see true success until 6 months of calling and planting the seeds and pitching clients and pitching candidates. And then we tell a client that we have a candidate, and we tell a candidate that we have a client, when really you start from zero. You have nothing. But yeah, so that ability, I learned, and I really did. What I didn't share is that I dropped out of the 8th grade. I repeated the 8th grade, and then I dropped out of school entirely. I never went to high school. I went to college at 20 on 6th and 7th grade reading and writing level.
I want to say that there are probably a number of people that are listening to your story and they go, she didn't finish grammar school, didn't go to high school, and went right to college. Okay, so what was that whole transition like? Because there are many people who struggle educationally. And yet, if I look at Kristen O'Hagin today, it tells a very different story. So spend a minute talking about that, would you?
I knew that I had something strong in me because I've always paid attention to that strength. There is an inner strength. That's the larger part of me.
Yes.
And she has some ideas, and she felt that school wasn't a fit for her. Right. So I was bold enough to tell my mom I didn't think it was a fit. And she said, well, that's it. You're going to pay rent. So by the age of 15, I had a job. I was at Wendy's. I got a car. I was paying rent. But then between the age of 15 and 17, I noticed all my friends graduating from high school, my class, and I wasn't. And luckily I got invited. But the point was, I said, wow, they're graduating and they're going somewhere, and you're working at, Wendy's. What's next for you? Sure. And so I said, well, if I get my GED, then I can move forward into college. And that's what I did. I got my GED and I moved forward in college. And I just knew no matter what, I was going to just give it a shot, give it all I've got in every area. I really feel like that's how I show up. So I was able to give it all I've got, spend 60 hours a week, was getting tutoring, and I graduated summa cum laude.
Holy cow. Now see, Kristen, I'll tell you, that's the compelling part. Because what you're really saying, I think, is it really doesn't matter where you start. It's where you finish. And it seems like to me there was this intersection between the educational considerations and the things that were going off in your heart, and then this opportunity to start in the staffing business with this friend of your mom's. I mean, seems like those two things intersected and really helped to propel you in terms of the direction that you were going to go. So talk to me about that.
Yeah, because here's what I know, right? And so when I got into college, and I really applied myself, and they do say that people like me or like many of us that are really gifted, public school systems really don't work for us. But the college setting did, right? I had
Got it.
control. I picked the classes. I paid for them. I showed up. I had great intention of follow through and getting to where I knew that I could get if I
Sure.
had just focused and if I wasn't distracted. And
Sure.
always it's about making a decision. But that cause and effect, had I not had the proof that I could make something great happen, I would not have known that I could have picked up that phone, read a script, and made something happen. Because I clearly remember 24 years ago, I looked at the phone and I said, cause and effect. Look at what you did in college. I said, if you pick up the phone and read this script, let's see what happens. Let's do it. Let's go full force. Let's see what happens. And 6 months in, man, that 7th month, I made $70,000. And there was no looking back at that point.
Holy cow. Holy cow. Yeah. And so that was your first entree into this staffing, executive recruiting, starting from ground zero, telling the client you had individuals when you really had to go find them, and telling the candidates that you had jobs for them and you really didn't have them. But in the 7th month, $70,000 later. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Thank you.
The question I would ask you is, you spend a lot of time talking about Brilliant One, and I want to hear about that. But I want to know, if you can, just talk about sort of the transition. What came next? I mean, you got $70,000 7th month, and you were like a rocket launch after that. So talk to me about some of the things that were involved in that continual progression.
So after that, so when that 7th month happened,
yes,
the next 6 months, I billed like $250,000.
Wow.
So 125 is mine, 125 is theirs, because it was a 50-50 split. What I realized is that the organization itself wasn't conducive to my level of energy, drive, wisdom. I'm not interested in the nonsense. I'm up to playing big games. Like, what game are you up to? I'm up to big games. I'm not up to the poverty game. I'm not up to the poor me game. I'm not up to the look at her game. No, I'm up to the winning game, helping others game, being kind game, making all the money I need and desire. So I'm up to a different game in the world. And when I realized that we weren't in alignment, I said, you know what? I can be successful on 8th Street. I can be successful on 5th Street. I can be successful in Miami. I can be successful in Chicago, because wherever I go, there I am. They don't give me a list in the morning and say, hey, Kristen, if you make these 10 calls, you're going to be $1 million biller. They just say, get in there and do it all, and I get half. So I said, you know what? Let me look into launching my own company. Within a year, I had launched Brilliant One Solutions.
That's amazing. So, well, talk to me about Brilliant One Solutions. So in effect, what did you do? I mean, was it a force of one, power of one? Or did you get other individuals to come work in your firm? I mean, how did that work?
It's very easy, because for the last 22 years, I've been the chef, the cook, the bottle washer. I turn the lights on, I turn the lights off, I work through lunch, I go to bed early, I start at 4 a.m. Well, the thing is I've been doing it all, but why not? It feels so good. I have plenty of energy. So for 22 years, it's the craziest thing, but I printed out the yellow pages and have recruited specifically directly into companies from the yellow pages for 22 years. Wow. It was 2 years ago that I enrolled in LinkedIn. Yeah.
So you had your own brand of technology and how you went about that. That's great. That's great.
Yeah. And I've been doing that, and I've been showing up, and I learned from others. I didn't have a mentor next to me anymore, but I've used you as a mentor, and you know that. And I've used many people that I could grow and learn from. Every candidate I was going to get a nugget from, and every client I was going to grow from. And then I was going to apply it the minute I hung up the call and try it on the next call, And that's what I have done all this time.
Kristen, you're married and you have children. How has all of what you have done over the sum of the years associated with Brilliant One, how has that impacted them?
They're blown away, thrilled to death to be alive. What else? I mean, they're impacted because I'm available.
Sure.
I'm always available. And that's what I say to people. They say, oh, you're so busy, I didn't call. I said, why not? I have time. I'm always available. I'm not busy being busy. I'm a sharpshooter. I make it happen in that one thing. I'm going to go after what I need. So my children always present. Nobody watched them. Nobody violated them. Nobody told them that they weren't good enough. Nobody stripped away at who it is that they really are. Because I'm an uplifter of extreme proportions. And this career has allowed me to have a baby on a Friday night and be right here on a Monday morning. They all think I'm in this white ivory tower, in a suit. And here I am nursing a baby, closing deals. And so my children love my career. They're all entrepreneurs because they've watched me do it. I don't trade time for money. I don't buy into anything laborious. I don't believe in hard work. I believe in happy work. And the entire family has benefited from me being available, and making the big bucks and having fun.
Well, you know what? I want to get into this area associated with transformation, but I have a question, a real important question before that. You have been able to take the essence of recruiting and executive search, and you've been able to spin that into other areas of your life that really motivate you. And what I'd like you to do is just spend a minute, because I have to tell you, I mean, I know lots of people, some that are motivated and some that aren't motivated. And then there's some that are highly motivated, and you fit into that category. And I guess I just ask you, for the benefit of people that would be listening, what really motivates you? Where's that get up and go that is in you that allows you to go from this day to the next day, or this opportunity to the next opportunity? Spend a minute talking about that.
What keeps me going and inspired is knowing beyond a shadow of a doubt that the larger part of me is up to some really good stuff. And I mean good stuff. I want to be a part of that. I want to go along for that ride. I already know what my mind has to say. I already know what my humanness is up to. And it's not good. It's like, character assassinating, judging. Oh, he doesn't love me. She doesn't like me. Traffic, all of this. I choose to live in the larger part of me. And here's what's so important. If you know beyond a shadow of a doubt, wait, I get a body, I get to be here, I get a mind, and I have a spirit. But I'm not my body, and I'm not my mind. My mind is a tool like my thumb, and I need to use it when it's appropriate, because my mind can only reflect and talk about past. There's nothing future here. So for me to focus on what is not real is surely not going to benefit me. I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm going to be frightened. So what I had to do was decipher who's the real me, right? The larger part of me, the you and you. So I have the human me and the larger part of me. The larger part of me, all I'm trying to do is align. And I do it through sitting quietly, through stretching in the morning, through choosing a thought as I'm getting out of bed, because I need to get out ahead of insanity, because in the humanness it exists. So instead of me waking up and saying, oh my God, what did she say? What did you say? Oh gosh, what about that? Run here, run there. I simply have no thought, and I do not pick up my phone, and I create an intention right from there. Today is going to be the best day. Everything always works out for me. I'm excited about what's going on. And that alone makes me run through my day, because I am excited, because there's nuggets everywhere.
Sure.
And if you don't know it, you're not going to really have that experience unless you know it.
It leads me really to a final question or two, but I want to ask you, I mean, with all the enthusiasm and the heart share and mind share that you have, and what motivates you and the things that you believe, what is it? What's the rest of the story for you? What is it that you'd love to be doing in addition to Brilliant One and finding candidates and such? I mean, you've got tons to offer. And I guess I want to ask you, if you had to articulate what your real objectives were as you go forward, your goals, your vision as you go forward, what would that look like?
Thanks. That's a great question, because I'm an uplifter of extreme proportion. I want people to know the truth.
Sure.
The truth is you are so amazing. You're never off the path. We're always on the path. And that if you can just let go and stop getting in your own way and tap into the bigness of who you really are, oh man, let the good times roll. We have access to the energy that creates worlds, and it's right here. You know, we're all masters of the stars. We're masters of math. We're masters of makeup. How about this? Who's a master of this? Who's a master of this, right? Like how do we really work? How can we get the most out of life? So what am I up to? I'm going to come out and tell my story, and I'm going to share with people that they too can be here. And it is a simple choice. It is a simple decision. It is a simple choice to have the most incredible life, because you've already got it. You just haven't noticed it because you're too busy in your head. And that's what I want to share with people. If we can just get out of our own way and allow what is to take over. Wow. And we all have it. We all have it. Not one of us is not born with that power. It's really neat stuff. And that's what I'm up to. I'm up to getting to know her. And I'll end with this. I can really relate to Michelangelo when they asked him about the statue David. Oh, how'd you come up with this? How did you make David? How?
Yes.
He said, I just chipped away at what wasn't David.
Ooh. Wow.
And that's where I'm at.
Wow. Just chipped away at what wasn't David.
Yeah.
Boy, Kristen, I'll tell you what, I love that. And it seems like to me that that's a life goal. That's a daily goal. That's the thing that you are after before you put your first foot on the floor in the morning. Gosh, I love that. And, you know, I'll just say that every person who's either listening or hasn't listened yet should really dial into the Kristen O'Hagin Brilliant One scenario so that they really have an opportunity to maybe do some life changing. And you'll probably say yes and yes. Is your goal big stage to be able to communicate to lots of people, or is it life coaching for individuals? I mean, what will it look like in the next whatever it is? And it sounds like 6 months is kind of a key indicator for you, because in month 7 stuff starts to happen. But if you had a choice, maybe you'd say they're both, but big stage or life coaching, which one of those, or both?
Well, I'm open and flexible to what God's will is for me. I'm always open to that, which is why nothing ever bothers me. If it doesn't work out, I said, it's God's will. If it works out, it's God's will. You know, it's meant to be. It's meant to be. And I'm so good with that. Sure. I see myself running on a stage, and I see groups, because I've done individual since I'm 17, and we're not going to say 29 and holding, but I've been talking to groups from ages of like 15 to 20. And then I've been doing individual from 20 till now. And every day it's individual. I coach about 10 people a day. And then I have 50 candidates that I'm coaching. And I even have clients that I'm coaching.
Wow.
So now it's going to be groups. Bring me in. I'm here to pump up the group. You know, we're here to pump you up, Hans and Franz. And here's what I say: stroke them and hit them between the eyes, because people want to be woken up. They want to be woke, but a lot of people aren't just giving them the grit to do it. Sure. I'm not here to do what all those other philosophers do. I love them all. They're all mentors. But the piece that I have is I'm literally going to come to you. I'm going to be humble. I'm going to show up vulnerable. And then I'm going to show you how to do it right now, because you don't have to wait to get to the real you. She's already there. He's already there. So it's like a now moment, not, down the road, no, it's now. You can be amazing now, and you can align now.
Kristen, I have to tell you, you are one of the most enthusiastic individuals I have ever met in a category all your own. I so appreciate you coming and hanging out with me on Real People, Real Stories. And as time goes on, I'm going to ask you if you would agree to maybe coming back and sharing what has transpired since the I think it's the 12th of October of 2021. I'll be amazed at what it is that has transpired by then, and the lives you've touched and the things you've done. But I really do appreciate the fact that you agreed to come join us, and I look forward to us doing this again.
Fantastic. And I would just like to say, John Wendell Adams, I know how amazing you are. I have always adored you. I've always wanted you to be my mentor. And man, law of attraction says when you ask and let it go, boy, does it come back. And who knew you'd be back for me. So as far as I'm concerned, you just lit the torch. So I'm excited to see what the next 6 months brings too.
Amen. Amen. Well, listen, have a great day, Kristen. And I so look forward to us circling back here again. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you. Me as well.
Yeah. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye
Bye,
now.
John.